Good afternoon, Jets Nation. Welcome to the Drew Jets Show. I'm, of course, your host, Drew Jets, and I can't go a single day without seeing somebody talk about the New York Jets backup quarterback situation. So today, I'm going to be giving my 2 cents about it. So without any hesitation, let's get it started. So first off, who's going to be the New York Jets backup quarterback? Well, normally the backup QB is the second best quarterback on the roster. So using that logic, Zach Wilson should be the New York Jets backup QB. I know a lot of people would want Tim Boyle to be the second quarterback because he's the veteran. He has experience in the system. But when it comes down to who's the better player and who would give the New York Jets the best chance to win, it would be Zach Wilson. So now moving on to how Zach Wilson would play as the backup. We're looking at his first 4 games of last season, weeks 4 through 7. The New York Jets were 4-0, had one of the best records in the AFC, not because of how Zach Wilson was playing, but because the defense was playing great and the run game, led by Breece Hall, was firing at all cylinders. In those games, Zach Wilson didn't have to be the star of the show. The New York Jets didn't have to rely on the pass game to move the ball. All we needed Zach Wilson to do was hand the ball off to Breece Hall, let him do his thing, and hit some throws. And Zach Wilson hit his throws some of the time. Not most of the time, some of the time. And his performances kind of varied. Weeks 4 and 5, and even week 9 against the Buffalo Bills, he hit majority of his throws, and, everything looked great. But in some cases, like week 7 and, 6, he didn't really look too good. So the New York Jets really just need Zach Wilson to get to the level to where he can be a good game manager all of the time. Not some of the time, all of the time. And if the New York Jets can get Zach Wilson to that level, if the run game can continue to go strong, and if the defense can continue to play great, that right there is the recipe for success. But if Zach Wilson can't get to that level, then the New York Jets definitely need to explore the veteran quarterback route. And the best free agents available are Carson Wentz and Teddy Bridgewater. Both of those 2 QBs can be game managers for you with a little bit more. They can give you that little extra spice, can do a little bit more for you than a game manager normally would. And I could see the New York Jets adding one of those 2 quarterbacks during training camp if the performances from our backups aren't what we need them to be. But if an injury were to happen midseason and both of those quarterbacks weren't available, then the New York Jets, of course, were to explore a trade if, it's before the trade deadline, which would definitely suck, but, that's what the New York Jets would have to do. And it's very tricky to trade for a quarterback because most of the time a team's not going to give you their backup quarterback because that is a very important job on a team. Team's just not going to hand you their backup QB. But some teams carry 3 quarterbacks on the roster. But most of the teams that carry 3 quarterbacks have at least one 4th-round rookie that hasn't played a snap in the NFL and is a healthy scratch for most of this game. So it's really tricky to trade for a backup quarterback. But there are some teams that are carrying 3 quarterbacks that don't really have any day 3 rookies. You look at the Houston Texans. They have C.J. Stroud, Davis Mills, and Case Keenum. Case Keenum definitely would be an interesting option to trade for him. The last time he started a game was in 2021, in which he started 2 for the Cleveland Browns, had a 2-0 record, and honestly played some pretty solid football. And if the Houston Texans are willing to trade him, that would be a solid option for the Jets. We look at the Carolina Panthers, who of course have first overall pick Bryce Young, Andy Dalton, and Matt Corral. Now, I don't think the New York Jets should trade for Matt Corral, an unproven 3rd-round pick quarterback. That's not what we should be looking for. And I doubt they would let us have Andy Dalton, but they did have a 1st-round grade on Matt Corral. Picked him in the 3rd round of last year's draft, and he hasn't played it down in the NFL because he broke his leg last year or something like that. So maybe Matt Corral balls out in training camp, wins that backup quarterback job, and then Andy Dalton can be on the move. That's definitely a possibility that could happen. Also look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They have Baker Mayfield, Kyle Trask, and John Wolford. If Kyle Trask wins that starting job, maybe the Buccaneers are ready to let go of Baker Mayfield if they feel comfortable with John Wolford as the backup. And you even look at the San Francisco 49ers. They're not going to trade us Brock Purdy. I don't really want Trey Lance because, once again, he's a young, unproven quarterback, but I would take Sam Darnold to be the backup for the New York Jets. I don't know how some fans would feel about that, but Sam Darnold is a solid backup. And there's been some trade rumors going around Sam Darnold in the past few days, so he could potentially be available for a trade. Just some options to think about for a mid-season trade if the New York Jets were to make one. But really, we just need to bank on Zach Wilson becoming a game manager, the run game staying strong, and the defense continue to play great. Because if that happens, I don't think the New York Jets fans really should have too much to worry about. I mean, obviously, it wouldn't be ideal with Aaron Rodgers going down with an injury. I mean, hope and pray that doesn't happen, but I also don't think it would be completely the end of the world, and we would still have a chance to compete if Zach Wilson can get to that game manager level. What are you guys' thoughts on the video? Let me know down below, and I'm your host, Jet, signing off for now. See you guys later. Peace.